Welcome to a spooky Halloween edition of Local Search Tuesdays. Last year I did a Halloween episode and shared my list of the top 10 horror movies to watch, and it was a huge hit. So this year, I'm sharing another awesome list of horror movies. For those of you who didn't see last year's episode, I shared a list of the top 10 horror movies that are more unknown and underrated. I'm a movie freak, and this is my series, so I can do what I want. If you're here for marketing tips, come back next week. But if you're here for another awesome list of movies, I've got a killer list for you. This year, since this is basically the sequel to last year's horror movie list, I'm sharing my top 10 list of horror movie sequels. Here we go. Number 10, 28 Weeks Later. Released back in 2007, it was set 6 months after the original movie, and the rage virus has pretty much wiped out the entire population of the UK. The US Army declares that the epidemic is over, and when they move in to start reconstruction, things go to hell quickly. Number 9, Final Destination 3. This was the one with the ridiculously awesome roller coaster scene at the beginning. It came out in 2006, and this is definitely the best of the Final Destination series. Number 8, The Conjuring 2. This one came out in 2016 and is my favorite movie in the Conjuring series. It's the one about the little girl in the UK who was possessed, and it's got some really creepy scenes. Number 7, Hellraiser II. This one's from 1988 and by far the best of the Hellraiser series. I don't know if you saw any of the later ones, but they went really off the rails and really messed up the winning formula of the first two. Hellraiser in Space was just flat out dumb. This one rocked though. Doug Bradley absolutely nails it as Pinhead. Number 6, A Nightmare on Elm Street III, Dream Warriors. This one almost deserves to win Best in the Series on the strength of the awesome theme song from Dokken. It's the first time we really start to see Freddy with more of a sense of humor, but still scary, before he devolved into a jokey killer. Number 5, Friday the 13th, The Final Chapter. Released in 1983, it was supposed to be the final film in the series and included the return of Tom Savini doing the effects. He came back to help kill off the character he helped create. Obviously, the series kept going, but I really love this one. It's by far the best Friday the 13th movie. It also introduced the character of Tommy Jarvis, who basically became Jason's arch enemy. Number 4, Halloween 2. Released in 81, it picks up right at the end of the first movie, following Michael's killing spree to the Haddonfield Hospital. It's a lot more violent and gory than the first film, and if you're a fan of Loomis like I am, it's the best Loomis movie in the series. Number 3, Terrifier. This is the only movie that was also on last year's list, because let's face it, this movie is ridiculously awesome. Sure, it's pretty low budget, but David Howard Thornton plays Art the Clown to creepy perfection. The way he moves his body and his face will haunt you for a long time. While it's not a direct sequel, Art the Clown first appeared in the anthology movie All Hallows Eve in 2013, so it still counts. And I'm super pumped that Terrifier 2 is coming out next year. Number 2, Evil Dead 2. Released in 1987, it's a sequel / semi-remake of The Evil Dead. Sam Raimi really made his mark with this one, and Bruce Campbell absolutely slays as Ash. And number 1, Halloween 3, Season of the Witch. Just kidding. Obviously, this might be the worst horror movie ever made and is definitely the worst horror sequel. The real number 1 best horror sequel is also the best sequel ever made of any genre, Aliens. Yes, Aliens is a horror movie, deal with it. I don't even need to explain why. It's pretty much a scientific fact that this is one of the best movies ever made. And how crazy is it that this movie came out in 1986 and literally it's been 35 years and no one has ever been able to top it as the best sequel ever? So, that's my list of best horror sequels ever. And while it's not a sequel, if you haven't seen Trick or Treat, check it out, it's amazing. And if you like campy horror stuff that's more on the side of silly, definitely check out Benny Loves You. It's brilliant and hilarious. That's all the time we've got for this week, so you know what that means. Put your hand on the screen right here. We totally just high-fived, because you learned something awesome. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again next week for another episode of Local Search Tuesdays.